The next bit of new research I'd like to tell you about is, again, from our recent survey. We've got about 2,000 people responding. And we ask another question. If you're filling out this survey, let's see what you can tell us about weight loss surgery. In other words, what's your experience? What's our patient's experience with weight loss surgery? And so we ask patients this question. Do you know anybody, a friend, a family member, or even an acquaintance who had a mini gastric bypass? If you did, if you know somebody, how did they do? And we classified into 3 big groups. We said did great, did well, regained their weight, or had a complication. Okay? And then we asked that same question. Do you know anybody? Do you have friends or family that have had a lap band? And then we asked the same thing about the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. We say, do you know anybody who's had the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass? And so we're going to report those results this morning. This is from respondents, about 2,000 patients. And when we asked, do you know somebody who had a Roux-en-Y, about half of our patients said they knew somebody, a family member or a friend, who'd had a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. Of that group, 30% of those friends or family or acquaintances did well. Only a third did well. About 30%, as according to their recollection, their friends, their family, had a complication, and 40% of the people that they knew gained their weight back. So not quite half. Then we looked at the lap band patients. Do you have a friend or a family member or acquaintance who had a lap band? Again, about 50% knew a lap band patient. Do you guys know a lap band patient?
Yes.
Imagine that.
And we asked them how many did well. 20%. So less than or around a fifth of patients did well as far as friends, acquaintances, or family members who had a lap band who did well. 35% gained their weight back, so about a third, and 45% of lap band patients that they knew had some kind of complication, close to half. We asked that same question about mini gastric bypass. We said, how many of those people that you know or had friends or family that had a mini gastric bypass did well? Just as a reminder, the Roux-en-Y was 30%, about a third. The band was 20%, a fifth. And for the mini gastric bypass, 91% did well. And 6% had complications, and 3% gained their weight back. So, first of all, I think it points out the MGB is not perfect. So, and we know that. There are problems with the mini gastric bypass. It can fail. The neat thing about it is in most of the cases it's fixable. It's something that we can come back and make better. But it is true that it looks like around 9% of mini gastric bypass patients have some kind of problem, either a complication or they gain their weight back. And that compares to 80% of band patients have a complication or gain their weight back, or 70% of Roux-en-Y patients who have a complication or gain their weight back. So that's kind of interesting new news of talking about our patients and what they report, and thought that would be worth knowing.